Welcome to Defender's Voice. This is Dr. Paul. Thank you for joining us today. Please send me your questions to info@drpaul.org. Visit our website, drpaul.org, for more information about our activities. Share your comments. Sharing your comments pushes this video into good algorithms so that it can reach more people. So please share your comments, whether you agree with me or not. Today's question, Baba Ramdev's yoga, does it defeat COVID? Now, Baba Ramdev is an Indian yoga teacher and businessman. He has been organizing yoga camps since 2002. He co-founded Patanjali Ayurveda Limited with his colleague Balkrishna. He's a savvy businessman. He became a billionaire through his drug company. He makes tall claims about yoga, like he was paralyzed when he was a kid and later cured by practicing yoga. Yoga can cure paralysis. I didn't know that. He claims that homosexuality can be cured by yoga. Now he claims yoga can cure COVID. He started to gain a following through yoga classes. Then Prime Minister Modi made him famous by inviting him to political rallies. In early May 2021, he blamed COVID victims for complaining about oxygen shortage. He scolded them. Just do yoga, you will be fine. He said modern medicine is a stupid science and millions of people died due to it. Let me quote his words. For decades, I have been practicing yoga and Ayurveda, so I didn't feel the need to get vaccinated. Over 100 crore people of India, as well as in foreign countries, have access to these ancient therapies. In the times to come, Ayurveda will be globally accepted. End quote. He says Ayurveda will be accepted globally. Acceptance doesn't mean evidence. Acceptance does not mean it is beneficial. He says COVID can be conquered using yoga and Ayurveda. He says COVID vaccines are useless. He says if you look at all the people dying of COVID, it shows allopathy, that is Western medicine, is not 100% effective. It is another logical fallacy. If I tell you wear your seatbelt while you drive your car, you might say it is useless to wear a seatbelt. I have a friend who died in a car crash. He wore a seatbelt. Your story might be true, but statistically speaking, wearing a seatbelt provides more safety than not wearing a seatbelt. People use the same argument against medicine. Medicine is useless. We took my dad to the hospital and he died anyway. Your dad dying in the hospital is sad, but medical science is still a good thing that happened to humanity. So Baba Ramdev's argument that Western medicine is not 100% effective is illogical. Ramdev's friend Balkrishna accused IMA's president of conspiring to convert India to Christianity. They are using this Western medicine to convert people to Christianity. These accusations are not new. When radio was introduced to India, the gurus accused Christians that radio was brought to convert people to Christianity. When TV was introduced to India, they said this television was brought to convert people to Christianity. When computer was introduced to India, they said computers were brought to convert people to Christianity. So this is not a new accusation. This is an old bird with new feathers. Baba Ramdev says, I do yoga and take Ayurveda. I don't need any COVID medicine. Now, what is yoga? Yoga is a mind and body practice that typically combines physical postures, breathing techniques, and meditation or relaxation. Its origin traces back to ancient Indian philosophy. Millions of people practice yoga around the world. It has three principal components: meditation, then pranayama, that means breathing regulation, then asanas, these are basically postures. Meditation helps to increase self-awareness and to examine one's conduct with self and others. Clinical studies show that yoga is useful as adjunctive therapy for depression, anxiety, PTSD, back pain, fatigue, sleep problems, and cognitive impairment. The evidence base for the effectiveness of these modalities is still incomplete. Yoga can reduce blood pressure. It is superior to no treatment but has not been clearly superior to aerobic exercise. Now that is important to understand. If you compare yoga to aerobic exercise, it has not been shown to be superior to aerobic exercise in reducing blood pressure. One of the components of yoga is breathing exercises. You breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in and you breathe out in a controlled manner. Those exercises will improve oxygen saturation. So in patients with COVID, when they are in rehabilitative phase, yoga might help them to improve oxygen saturation. But when COVID patient is actually sick, yoga is useless. When your oxygen saturation is low, you need oxygen. Yoga does not help. Baba Ramdev blaming patients for not breathing well is silly and stupid. Yoga should be a part of integrative medicine. It should be adjunctive therapy. It should be complementary. In other words, you add it to basic medical science based on the evidence. But you should not use it as monotherapy, like it is the only treatment like this Baba claims for cancer, stroke, COVID, hypertension, liver disease, etc. Baba Ramdev then says Ayurveda helps with COVID. What is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is an alternative medicine system developed in India. Its central premise is gods taught medical knowledge to gurus and then gurus taught it to doctors. From gods to doctors. That shows how scientific it is. In Sushruta Samhita, the foundational text of Ayurveda, Sushruta wrote that Hindu god of Ayurveda, Dhanvantari, incarnated himself as a king of Varanasi and taught medicine to Sushruta and other doctors. So God Dhanvantari taught us this medicine and this should be followed by all people. This God incarnated in Varanasi, the town where Ramdev started his own shop selling Ayurvedic medicines. That says it all. Indian Medical Association calls it quackery. It is nothing but fraud. Baba owns the company Patanjali Ayurveda. Some of his Ayurvedic medicines were banned from sales due to poor quality by Indian government. His workers must touch his feet as they enter the companies to start their day. In June 2020, he announced a drug named Coronel for COVID-19 treatment. There was no evidence that Coronel would help COVID patients. It was banned by many state governments across India. They put unsterilized, unclean products into these quack drugs. Even toxic metals go into these drug mixtures. Then they also blamed Christians. Indian Medical Association president happens to be a namesake Christian. It is doubtful whether he even a devout practicing Christian. But Balkrishna accused him of converting people to Christianity by using Western medicine. We watch Sanjay Gupta from morning to evening, but we don't consider his Hinduism when he talks about medical issues because we think that is irrelevant. But if a Christian doctor talks about medicine, the Hindu gurus immediately focus on his religion. When we talk about Ayurveda, you see the beauty of Christian faith here. Christianity never pretends to know the remedies for human sicknesses. In the Bible, we don't find God prescribing medicines for human diseases. Descartes separated spiritual things from physical things through his dualism. Following Descartes, scientists followed into the investigation of physical diseases and things, leaving spiritual matters to theologians. Andreas Vesalius, we call him the founder of human anatomy. Pope Paul gave him permission to dissect human dead bodies and study the internal structures. After years of research, He wrote De Humani Corporis, a great textbook on human anatomy. That is how the scientific method starts. Later, William Harvey studied the circulatory system, how the blood flows in our body. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek studied microorganisms like bacteria using the microscopes. Edward Jenner developed smallpox vaccine. Louis Pasteur invented the first vaccine for rabies and anthrax. Joseph Lister pioneered antiseptic surgery. Paul Ehrlich invented chemotherapy. And Alexander Fleming, he discovered penicillin as an antibiotic. So these scientists, they built an empirical basis. We should build on these foundations. Pfizer and Moderna developed their vaccines after thoroughly understanding the structures, function, and pathogenesis of COVID-19 virus. Serum Institute of India has the capacity to supply COVID vaccine for every human being on this planet. But they could not deliver because the leadership in India has Ramdev's mentality. Yoga and Ayurveda are enough to defeat COVID. You don't need modern medicine. That was their thinking. Thankfully, there are many doctors in India who could see through their bluff and do their best to help their fellow Indians suffering from COVID. We should thank God for them. So Baba Ramdev should stop making these kinds of nonsensical and dangerous comments against modern medicine. So that is my answer to this question, folks. Thank you so much, and visit our website, and also please leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.